The sensory pathways, right? So this table summarizes most of the points that we have learned in the last classes. I'll come back to this in a bit. Let me just broadly show you the pictures again so that it is fresh in your mind. So we learned about two important pathways, right? Sensory pathways, the important ones. Purely sensory function is anterolateral system, which carries pain and temperature to the lateral spinothalamic tract, crude touch to the anterior spinothalamic tract. So this is one. The second one is the dorsal column medial lemniscal system, right? So this is on the dorsal aspect of the spinal cord, hence the name dorsal column. And within the spinal cord, they have the name of medial lemniscus. So this tract carries the sensations of fine touch, proprioception, vibration, and anything else? 2-point discrimination. Discriminative aspects of touch are also carried by this. Okay. We've also seen that in pain pathway, right? There is a tract of Lizard. What was that? Before this tract's synapse in the dorsal horn, so they ascend one or two segments. So this small tract they form within the spinal cord itself, right? So this tract is the tract of Lizard. Importance here is, if you deal with a lesion here, you might get that the sensations one or two segments below or above can also be affected, right? This is the explanation of this particular phenomena, right? Dorsal column decussation, important thing that you remember is at the level of the medulla, right? So the termination here is nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. Lower part of the trunk and lower limb, the fibers end here in the gracial nucleus. Upper limbs and the upper part of the trunk, the fibers end in the cuneate nucleus. Okay. So comparison of both. We also talked about this distribution of fibers. So somatotopic organization. So the way these fibers ascend in the spinal cord, this is also preserved throughout the pathway, also in the thalamus and henceforth in the cortex. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि a fiber arising say from the great toe, it will end somewhere in the face region of the cortex. No. So the arrangement of fibers from whichever part of the body that conveying the sensations, this arrangement is maintained throughout the course of the sensory pathway from the receptor to the cortex, right? This will again become important when you talk of the lesions in one of the classes in the next month. Spinocerebellar tracts. So although this set of fibers, they carry the sensation of unconscious proprioception, which means that the sensation of position of the body, of movements of the body are conveyed to the cerebellum without involving the cerebral cortex. So in a moment-to-moment basis, this is collected by the cerebellum through these two tracts. तो dorsal column में जो first order neurons जा रहे हैं, the same set of neurons, those proprioceptors are the same. So proprioceptors are receptors directing the sense of position. So they can be present in the skin, right? Subcutaneous tissue. They can also be present in the, so look around here, muscle spindles. Deep within the muscles there is a structure. So this detects the degree of length. So if you contract or relax a muscle in order to bring a movement, so there will be a change in the stretch detected by muscle spindle. So this is a receptor within the muscle which detects position in a way, right? Similarly from the tendon also it has receptors which detect position. How? When you contract or relax a muscle in order to move any part of the body, tendons present here will also face some amount of tension. So these receptors here are called as Golgi tendon organs. And then of course there are receptors deep within the joints, capsules, synovial cavities. So all of this, majorly this bulk of receptors, sensations go through the dorsal horn into forming the spinocerebellar tract. Remember, after they enter into dorsal horn, the first order neurons split into few branches. The ones on the medial aspect, they form the dorsal column. Proprioceptors वही है. So the medial branches of the first order neurons, they go towards the dorsal aspect, right? And they ascend upwards of the dorsal column medullary-meniscal system. The other branches, the lateral ones, they form the spinocerebellar tracts. Right? They give rise to the origin of the spinocerebellar tracts. So you have two sets, posterior one which enters the cerebellum through the inferior peduncle, and the anterior one which enters through the superior cerebellar peduncle. Right? So remember, this is going to the same side. So here there is no crossing. And on the other one, the anterior one crosses twice, once here and the other again here. So eventually the effect is again on the same side, majorly on the same side. So what is the importance of this? The importance of this is bringing about error correction in motor activities. So motor activities ka jo algorithm tha, I talked about this in the last class. So from thought to plan to execution, there at so many levels there can be some form of error. So and we don't want errors, we want the activity should be smooth. So the brain should receive feedback. This was the intended plan. The intended plan is called as the efference copy, and this is the feedback. So comparison between the original plan and the feedback, this should tally. If there is a mismatch somewhere, it needs to be corrected. So this feedback is collected by these pathways. So anterior spinocerebellar tract collects the feedback directly, majorly from the ventral horn. So जो descending tracts है, motor tracts from the brain to the spinal cord, वहाँ पे कितना correctly signals पहुँचा, so that is collected by the anterior spinocerebellar tract. So this feedback is at the level of the spinal cord itself. तो वहीं पे अगर कोई error है, so even if it is executed, it is corrected क्योंकि execution spinal cord से आगे होगा. So here at least if I am able to detect the errors, I can correct it, right? Second set majorly by the posterior one now. So from the motor system, the tracts and the elements, they have caused some form of movement, execution has happened. The execution kitna sahi hua? So was the degree of stretch correct? Was the degree of tension correct? So all of this is gathered by the posterior spinocerebellar tract. So again, this is a feedback moved from the peripheral effector organs. So दोनों feedback जा रहे हैं and both of these are some form of proprioception. So this is the function of this tract. So majorly this tracts इनका जो functionality है that is embedded into the motor system of the body. है वो sensations ये sensory aspects है, but overall they contribute to the smoothness of the motor functions. Okay, so we've talked about this. Okay. So salient differences. So already you have an idea. So I have just highlighted the major ones. So you should not forget about the decussation between these two systems. Anterolateral it is at the spinal cord, and in the dorsal column it is at the level of the medulla. Which one is faster? Conduction velocity, the faster one is this, right? Why? Because इनके जो afferent neurons है, the nerve fibers are A beta fibers. So think about the classification. So A beta fibers, the large myelinated ones, hence their speed is faster. Proprioception is even faster. They are carried by A alpha fibers, 140 meters per second. So this is even faster, right? This is slower. And a very important aspect is this: spatial orientation and fidelity. Just correct this one. So this here it will be low. So there is a typing error here. So in the anterolateral system, right, the fidelity is low, meaning pain or temperature or broadly I can point out which part, but not exactly. So spatial fidelity and orientation is lower in the anterolateral system, but precise point to point localization is possible in the dorsal column. So don't take you correct this one, right? This one is lower, this one is higher. Okay. So this also explains, right, or it falls in place. Dorsal column from an evolution point of view, it is a newer pathway, right? And anterolateral system, it is a older pathway. Right. Now coming to this picture. So does it look familiar to you? Have you read about the cranial nerves in anatomy yet? Not yet. So you learn about the different nuclei of the cranial nerves. जैसे कि For the spinal nerve supplying the muscles from the neck onwards to the remaining part of the body, they come out from the ventral horn of the spinal cord. Similarly, for the muscles of the face, right? So their nuclei is within the brainstem. So you have motor nuclei. Similarly, sensory aspects के लिए भी there are some nuclei. So they are scattered within the midbrain, pons and medulla. So we are talking about the trigeminal nerve, that is the fifth cranial nerve. So for the fifth cranial nerve, you have one nucleus in the pons. This is the spatial visceral efferent. So one here, right? So this is the afferent of the sensory nucleus, right? This is the efferent of the motor nucleus. So trigeminal nerve is a mixed nerve which carries both sensations and also carries motor signals, right? For the muscles of mastication, masseter, temporalis and pterygoid, these three muscles. Now you can see the sensory nucleus is extending across different parts. So midbrain में जो part है, this is called as the mesencephalic nucleus. The part within the pons is called as the chief nucleus, chief sensory nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, and the part extending in the medulla, this is called as the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. So why am I talking about all of this? Different sensations from the face and this part, they go to the different nuclei, right? जैसे कि बाकी बॉडी में अलग अलग pathways है, tracts है, इनके terminations and courses different. But for the face, it is the same nerve which is carrying, but the fibers carrying some sensations are different. So this is again a diagram of the same set of nucleus. So mesencephalic nucleus extending in the midbrain. Chief sensory nucleus is this pons में जो है. Spinal nucleus is this part. So try to focus on this one. Now sensation of proprioception. वही सारे movements they are also present in the face and like this head and neck region. So proprioception from the jaw, right? Muscles of mastication, right? क्योंकि वो जा कहाँ से रहा है? Muscle spindle से जा रहा है. So muscles of mastication. Temporomandibular joint. So from these areas, sense of position goes to mesencephalic nucleus, right? Second, fine touch goes to this part, chief sensory nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. बचा क्या फिर? Pain, temperature and crude touch. So this will go to the sensory spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. So three parts, like three different nuclei, इनके जो feeding sensations है वो अलग अलग. You remember this. So you do not have different pathways like we had in the rest of the body. Here the pathways are all the same trigeminal nerve, but the nucleus where the sensations go, they are different. So this you have to remember, right? Clinical lab में next few then I think the next month you have examination of the cranial nerves. So you have to check for the integrity of all these nuclei, right? Now trigeminal nerve has got three divisions. I'm just giving you this piece of information. The ophthalmic division carries, you can see the division here, sensations from the outer canthus to the head, scalp and this part. Maxillary division, this is the area of distribution. Mandibular branch carries sensations from this part, right? So this is the distribution of sensations for the trigeminal nerve. So after the cross, again, the collected set of fibers, they form the trigeminal lemniscus. So you have till now we have come across how many lemniscus? Two. Dorsal column बनाता है medial lemniscus. Trigeminal nerve is forming the trigeminal lemniscus. One more lemniscus is the lateral lemniscus. If there is a medial, there must be a lateral one. So lateral one is concerned with the sensation of hearing, right? So that we'll talk about in the auditory pathways. So we have talked about the sensory pathways, receptors से लेके to the brain. Now let us understand where do they go in the brain and how it is processed. So you have sensory, there are two sensory cortex, right? Primary sensory cortex S1 and the secondary sensory cortex area 2, sensory or S2. So this is also called as somatosensory areas number 1 and somatosensory number 2, right? So let us first see the location. So sensory area 1, this is located in the post-central gyrus. That is the gyrus just behind the central sulcus. And these are the areas. This is the central sulcus. Brodmann's area number 3, 1 and 2. This is what forms the sensory area number 1. And here you have the arrangement of the whole body. Right? So this is a coronal section of the brain. So lateral aspects where you have pharynx, the muscles of the face, this part, right? Face is present over here, and limbs, trunk over on these aspects. So you can see that the important point here is homunculus में चाहे वो motor हो या sensory homunculus हो, the areas of the body which perform more precise functions, जहाँ पे sensation receptors are more, right? So they have a larger representation. जहाँ जहाँ पे receptor density ज़्यादा है, sensory innervation ज़्यादा है, so they have a larger representation in the cerebral cortex. This also enables a very good discriminative aspects. So 2 points if you place here and 2 points if you place on the back. So the threshold for detection in and around the face, जहाँ जहाँ पे sensory innervation density is more, you can detect two sensations very close, right? Compared to an area where the receptors are wide apart. Okay. Secondary area में this representation is not that good, right? It is lesser, poorer degree of representation, and sensory area receives information from S1, S2 receives information from S2, and then of course it performs a very important function. So look at the function here. Processing in area number 2, S2, decides whether this piece of information will be committed to memory or not. Right? Memory में कौन सा जा रहा है? This is decided by the processing that happens in S2. So this is a very important piece of information. So aspect. So sensory cortex में एक और area है. So I'll just come to this association area. So बाकी के जो दो areas थे, they are all concerned with the primary function, that is perception of the information. एक primary, एक secondary, S1 and S2. But this is the association area. Whenever we talk of association area of the brain, इनका जो function है, that is beyond just the perception. So higher level of processing, a deeper level of processing, this is happening in the association cortex. Say, integration of sensation is the most important aspect. So cortex में अलग-अलग जगहों में you have seen the map, sensory homunculus. So the part where you find the leg, तो leg में जितने भी sensations हैं, all are feeding there. There is one part of face, तो face वाला सब उधर जा रहा है. But at some level, it needs to be integrated. कि body में कौन से part में क्या हो रहा है. So this integration of various sensations from various parts together, synthesized into a sensory map, this is what happens in the association area. So that is why I have mentioned here perception of extra personal space. The body में what is happening where, what is around, right? What is causing what sensation? ये सारी चीजें integrate हो रही है कहाँ पे? In the sensory association areas. So Brodmann was a scientist who has numbered all the areas depending on their order of discovery. So this is area number 5 and 7. So this is which sulcus or fissure? Sylvian fissure. So here you have the association area is this, right? Posterior parietal cortex. So parietal cortex एक ऐसा जगह है, right? Here you have junction of 3 lobes, right? Parietal lobe का junction है, temporal lobe is this, and occipital. So visual भी important है for integration. So all of this gets integrated in the association area. So look at this, you write down this flow chart which is explaining cortex में कौन सा चीज़ कहाँ पे हो रहा है. So cutaneous mechanoreceptors, right? All forms of tactile receptors, mechanical stimuli, they are going into 3B. So it is area number 312 to 3B. Proprioceptors, they are going to 3A. Both of them again, so चाहे वो fine touch हो, crude touch हो, pressure, vibration, all of this taken together, right? Eventually they will help you that understand ये जो object है, you have held an object what is the texture of the object, what is the shape, right, what is the weight of the object. ये सारी चीज़ें you can actually look around here, right. So this is then going from both these areas to somatosensory number 2 or S2, from where S2 से देखो this information is going to hippocampus. So hippocampus is a very crucial point of two circuits, memory कि कौन सा short term से long term memory में जा रहा है, also short term memory में itself whatever is being retained in the short term memory itself, that also happens in the hippocampus, consolidation of information into memory. So that is why I said S2 decides what is retained and what is not. So from area number 5, so remember दो areas थे 5 and 7. So 5 from here information is going to this association area, right, along with this information from the visual system. So you see here photoreceptor is the visual system. Retina में information आ रहा है, it is reaching the superior colliculus, pulvinar nucleus of the thalamus, and eventually coming to number 7. तो ये जो है this is integration, right, of all the sensations together. So association area में higher processing happens, for example the integration. एक और चीज़ important है कि you have a habit कि you respond to all forms of stimulus. कुछ भी stimulus हो, you see something, you automatically your hands go and try to like do something, maneuver it, manipulate it. You may hold it, you may flick it. So anything, this sort of things are called as this one, motor area, visually guided movements. So this is sort of a habit, right? So for all of this, for motor movements to happen in response or reaction to stimulus, all this should be integrated together. So not only from what is there in the body parts, but also what comes to the eyes, right, visual system. So this is eventually contributing to motor movements. So here one important principle you remember is जितना भी sensation जा रहा है, you can see that sensory and motor systems, although the anatomical structures are distinct and different, but function point of view से they are very much interconnected. तो ये एक बहुत important piece of information, principle of neurophysiology, right? You remember from this slide. Now what is this? So if I now talk about the different functions of the sensory cortex, I'm talking about the cortex. First function of cortex is perception of stimulus, right? Till the time the information or sensory signals do not reach the cortex, I will not be aware or conscious of any sensation or any stimulus, right? So first function is this. Second function is, these are all varying degrees of higher processing. Localization. So I can also point out कि वो sensation या stimulus कहाँ पे है. So this is one notch above just feeling that there is a sensation. I can localize कि body में कहाँ पे है, हाथ में है या पैर में, I can identify that area, right? See the third 2-point discrimination. So not only can I localize, I can also appreciate or identify whether there is a one stimulus or there are multiple stimuli at the same part of the body, right? 2-point discrimination. Of course, 2-point discrimination में cortex के साथ receptors are also very important. Superficial receptors में ये function ज़्यादा होगा because the receptive fields are low, right? तो if you place 2 stimuli, वो 2 receptive field को stimulate करेंगे, so you will have 2 signals from different areas. Deeper receptors जो हैं, their fields are larger, so उनमें this is a bit lesser. So this functionality involves both the peripheries, the receptors, as well as the participation of cortex. Without the cortex, this is not going to happen, right? Fourth one, a very important property, stereognosis. What is that? If you close your eyes, right, you put a palm like this, and if a person puts some piece of object, कोई coin या फिर chalk, right, या फिर anything, any small object, a familiar object, you are not seeing it, right? But you will feel it, like you will have to understand the texture कैसा है उसका, shape कैसा है, what is the weight. तो ये सारी चीज़ें लेके you will at the end you will be able to identify what is the object. So this property is called as stereognosis, right? So this is also a function of the cortex, recognizing complex patterns and forms. I'll give you an example. Again, if your eyes are closed, right, and in your palm, if I write alphabets like A, you can understand कि A लिखा गया है. If I write say O, you can still identify. So this is what is mentioned here. So this particular property is called as graphesthesia, the ability to identify numericals, letters, figures, right? And sense of the form of his or her own body, right, on the opposite side. So this is what I also mentioned here, perception of the space. कि कौन सा part कहाँ पे है, what is the other sensations on the body. So if say there is a lesion in one lobe, parietal lobe, say on the right side, so left side of the body में this functionality will be affected, right? And as a consequence, what will happen? You will have something like this, a neglect syndrome. Right? So if I ask such a patient who has a lesion to copy this particular diagram, you see what happens in the picture. So a patient will have, so he or she will draw half of it, the remaining half is not, even though there is nothing wrong with the eyes, right? तो ऐसा ही अगर आप एक कोई और sensation दो, touch, right, या anything other than that, so here there also you will find the same pattern of things happening, right? So receptors are fine, sensory tracts भी सही है, right? But cortex में these are not मतलब put together nicely. So importance of the association area is this. So it is not getting integrated together. So this type of syndrome is called as neglect syndrome. In patients may you not only this, you will also find some motor defects, right? If you ask them to do anything, so they will always do the one half of the body. So जिस side में lesion है, so they will tend to ignore the opposite side of the body. So movements भी उस side में कम होंगे. So if there is a lesion of the right parietal lobe, right posterior parietal lobe, so you will see this type of picture also. If you ask them to do anything with the motor activities, they tend to ignore that there is the other half of the body also. तो भूल जाते हैं, right? They are not able to register that together. So this is what happens in lesions of the cortex. So I hope I have been able to impress upon this. Cortex main function is you are committing sensations to our consciousness or awareness, and along with this, there are a lot of other functions. There are higher levels of functions. Also remember the integration. So motor or sensory, anatomically the pathways, structures are very different. Functionally, they are very much interconnected. Moving on to pain, right? So what is pain? So pain is something which is omnipresent in our lives. Right? We have not grown up without pain. Right? जिंदगी में बस दर्द ही दर्द है. First you were struggling or you went through a lot of pain while preparing for the NEET. You thought उसके बाद खुशी होगी, खुशी ही खुशी. So now you have cleared NEET, now you're in a medical course. Pain has not stopped, है ना? दर्द चल रहा है अभी भी. Right? So on a serious note, so what happens when you come across any form of pain, when you feel pain, what happens? I'm not asking you कि tracks में कैसे, but what is your initial thought or response when you feel pain, right? So you can see various forms of pain here, right? Tooth somewhere around the knees, musculoskeletal pain. Some people, one who has studied CVS, will relate this with myocardial infarction, right? But a poet will not think this, right? A poet will think this is the pain of heartbreak, right? उससे क्या निकलेगा? उससे निकलेगा गजल, different form of poetry. Right? So pain has a purpose. Always remember this. Think about the sensations. pain is one of the oldest sensations that we have. It's not a new thing. Evolution mein pain is the oldest sensation, right? Along with vision and all. So it will serve a purpose. So pain makes us aware that something is wrong somewhere, right? So you need to be aware of this. So pain increases our alertness. This is the first thing that we should. So you try to relate all of this. Think of all instances in your life where you felt pain. So pain alerts us that there is something wrong happening somewhere in the body, right? It can be an injury or it can be something within some visceral organ. It can be a pain of angina, it can be a pain of appendicitis. Somewhere in the body something is going wrong, alertness. Withdrawal. If it is possible, you will withdraw yourself from that noxious or painful stimulus. So pain also incites a withdrawal response. So if you come across some form of, say, thermal pain, right? You come across a hot object by accident. So immediately you withdraw your hand. So this is what happens, withdrawal. If it is possible, you will also think about removing the stimulus, right? पैर में अगर कांटा लग गया बोतल पे, you will feel pain, you will alert, right? But you cannot withdraw. कांटा लग चुका, you cannot withdraw it. So you will sit down, you will take it out. So wherever it is possible, pain incites a thought of removing the stimulus. And suppose the कांटा बड़ा कांटा था, it was not a small one. So then you will seek help. You will seek help from your friends, parents, right? You will wash the area with disinfectant, right? If it was not if it is a metallic object, for example, you will also take a toxoid, right? So these are things what I feel before we go into the tracks and processing, you should know that pain is a very important and a necessary part of our lives, right? When you endure pain, the product which comes out of pain is always great. So you can see different people have described pain in different ways. The earliest description of pain was this: physical adjunct of an imperoprotective reflex. The same point I've been trying to emphasize. Now this definition you have to remember. So it was a definition given by International Association for the Study of Pain. So they have an association for that, to study pain. So an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience, right? So if you stick only with the sensory, if you describe only the sensory part, we will stick to a technical word called as nociception. But जहाँ पे sensory experience के साथ there is a emotional experience. Of course, it is unpleasant, right? Pain में कोई खुश नहीं होगा. So pain will always create an unpleasant emotional experience also. Associated with actual or potential tissue damage, right? You see the definition, it is so vast. Actual damage or anticipating some form of damage, potential tissue damage, or described in some terms of such damage. So this is the definition of pain. Now there are various types of pain, right? The first variety is fast pain, right, which is more of a physiologic pain. And the second variety is slow pain which is chronic and often which is pathological. Now there are some very important points you need to remember in fast and slow pain. Fast pain starts within 0.10 seconds of a painful stimulus. Slow pain, as the name tells you, it will start later on, right? Fast pain is triggered only by mechanical and thermal stimuli. Slow pain, it can be triggered by all forms of stimuli. So this is one point. Fast pain, very well localized. So think about the examples. A needle prick, pin prick, a cut injury. You are able to localize it very exactly where you have felt it, right? A pin prick, for example, also is a mechanical stimuli. So example, if you think of the example, you will be able to describe all the aspects. It is usually not felt in deeper tissues of the body, but slow pain, it is also felt in the visceral organs of the body, right? This will recede during the healing process, right? And slow pain, it tends to linger on. even after the recovery has happened, even after the stimulus has been removed, then also slow pain can continue to keep happening. And examples you see: slow pain, inflammatory pain, neuropathic pain, right? So inflammatory pain is caused by a lot of chemicals, right? Important ones being histamine, bradykinin, the most potent of all of this. Even free potassium ions can also induce pain, right? But these are all varieties of inflammatory pain. Neuropathic pain happens when a nerve is damaged or injured. So these things will keep on lingering on. So they have a phase, a very chronic phase. So fast pain and slow pain, they are carried by different set of nerve fibers. Remember in the last class, we have talked about this, कि dorsal column में sensory velocity is faster, right? A beta fibers, proprioception A alpha. Here you have only A delta and C fiber. So compared to the rest of the sensations, they are already slow. But in these slow sensations में A delta fibers are the faster of the two. A delta or C fiber के बीच में A delta fiber is the faster one, right? Why? Because it is a myelin sheath and slightly more thicker than C fiber. So that's why fast pain में जो information जा रहा है, that is going by the A delta fibers. The neurotransmitter here is glutamate. Slow pain में it is carried by the C fibers, right? We have discussed all the points. It is carried by C fibers, and the transmitter here is mainly substance P, but some areas they have also identified glutamate. So दोनों ही convey कर रहे हैं, but majorly if you remember, substance P is the main neurotransmitter as far as slow pain is concerned, right? So these are the different types of pain that we encounter. Now this pain, so transmission के लिए भी pathways में there is two different subsets. So lateral spinothalamic tract में there are two subsets, right? One called as the neospinothalamic tract, which carries fast pain, and the other one paleospinothalamic tract, the slow pain, right? इनके course and terminations में again there are slight differences. Right? Fibers, we have already talked about the fibers. We have already talked about the neurotransmitters. Conduction velocity भी, it is obvious. A delta slightly more thicker and having myelin sheath. So it's 6 to 30 meters per second. C fiber you see it is very slow, 0.5 to 2 meters per second. Now, next important difference is in the lamina of the spinal cord where it is terminating. So let us look at this picture beginning. So fast pain and slow pain. Fast pain, you see, A delta fibers terminate only on the lamina 1, right? The neospinothalamic tract arises here, right? So here first order neuron है, here it ends lamina 1. This is the second order neuron. It crosses the to the opposite side and ascends upward. So this is forming the neospinothalamic tract. Whereas C fibers, they are going to lamina 2, 3 and some extent lamina 5. So बाकी के layers में it is going, right? So 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 together they are also called as substantia gelatinosa. So spinal cord laminae में there is a difference. For the termination, कि वो खत्म कहाँ पे हो रहा है? So the neospinothalamic tract, it ends first, second order neurons, they reach the thalamus, कहाँ पे? VPL or ventroposterolateral nucleus of the thalamus, and then finally to the sensory cortex 1, somatosensory area 1 or S1 area. Whereas this one, the paleospinothalamic tract, this is going to a variety of structures, not to the cortex directly. तो इनका जो termination है वो अलग है. They are going to the reticular formation of the brainstem. What is reticular formation? So this is the area deep within the brainstem, which is analogous to interneurons of the spinal cord. So have you read about interneurons in the spinal cord in anatomy? Not yet. तो एक dorsal horn है, एक yes. If you have in the spinal cord cross section, if you see, there is a dorsal horn, right, and there is a ventral horn, dorsal and ventral, right. The spinal cord also has some indirect pathways. इस dorsal और ventral के बीच में छोटे-छोटे neurons हैं. They are called as interneurons. So if you think about the brainstem, that is midbrain, pons and medulla. इन तीनों को if you imagine it to be as a expansion of the spinal cord, as a cranial expansion of the spinal cord, तो interneuron का जो analogous area बनेगा, that is reticular formation, a crisscrossing network of fibers, right, which has got lot of functions. Come across this also in different time, but one part here you see is the termination of the paleospinothalamic tract. So this reticular formation is also the site from all your important nuclei, RVLM, CVLM, all of this is present around this structure. Reticular formation also maintains the muscle tone. Reticular formation also is responsible for our alertness or state of wakefulness in the body. So pain makes us alert. Pain also, till the time you remove the stimulus, you will be awake, right, and constantly reminded of that. So one of the reasons why this happens is this. कि reticular formation जो कि wakefulness और alertness का biological site है. So there are projections onto this. Then you have the intralaminar nucleus of the thalamus. Remember, this is not the VPL nucleus, it is the intralaminar region of the thalamus, where point-to-point representation of the body is not as accurate as the VPL nucleus of the thalamus. That is why slow pain, which is originating mostly from the deeper tissues and deeper organs, it is poorly localized as compared to the fast pain, right? Terminations जो है वो thalamus में, it is in a place, the intralaminar nucleus, which does not have a very good somatotropic map as the VPL nucleus of the thalamus. So if you are asked, we do not feel visceral pain, you cannot localize visceral pain, right? We can understand or appreciate some areas where the pain is radiated, right? A pain of appendix, for example, gets radiated to a somatic structure on the skin, right? You feel the pain on the umbilicus. Localization aspect, exactly where it is poorer, right? So there are two reasons, the many reasons, two important ones that we've discussed till now is deeper tissues and organs, visceral organs, that do not have proprioceptors. The position, by the virtue of this, we are not able to exactly pinpoint where it is happening. Position information is not going to the brain, visceral organs mean. Second aspect is the pathway. The pathway, you see, termination is in intralaminar nucleus of the thalamus, and these are also important. आगे के जो projections हैं, right? So they are very diffuse. So it is a multisynaptic and diffuse pathway. तो pathway में बहुत diffuse projections हैं, तो point to point precision will be less. So we will not be able to localize it very nicely. So spatial fidelity or localization is better in the neospinothalamic tract. It is poorer in the paleospinothalamic tract. Neo and paleo, these words come from evolutionary development. Pain is an old sensation, as I told you, compared to the other sensations of the body. Pain may be, the paleospinothalamic tract was older than the neospinothalamic tract. Let us see a diagram. You see, this is the one with the green. This is the neospinothalamic projections which go, right? So they are ending in the VPL nucleus and form to precise areas in area number 3, 1 and 2 in the somatosensory area 1. Whereas paleospinothalamic tract giving projections to the reticular formation, right? Hypothalamus, right? And periaqueductal grey matter. So aqueduct is a structure in the brainstem. Around the grey matter, around that, it is the periaqueductal grey. Okay. Moving on to the last aspect of discussion. So the body also has inbuilt pain modifying, pain modulating, right, or pain suppressing system, right? We have those mechanisms within our body itself. And it is a very, again, this also is a network of structures, network of nuclei and network of neurons within the brain. It's not a single site, right? Pain suppression or analgesia can happen at the supraspinal level and at the spinal level, right? So let us first talk of the supraspinal. That means above the spinal cord. Now, endorphins were the first identified chemicals which caused a sensation of analgesia or pain relief, and they act on opioid receptors in the brain. तो endorphins के बाद various similar chemicals were discovered, enkephalin, dynorphin, etc. Now there are areas in the brain where the receptors are there, opioid receptors are there. They act on opioid receptors, and when they are stimulated, right? So this endogenous opiates like enkephalin, dynorphin, etc. they have a lot of effects. Let us see with the help of a diagram. So here what do you see? Periaqueductal gray matter, right? Remember ये एक ऐसा एरिया था जहाँ पे पेन के कुछ प्रोजेक्शंस ऑलरेडी जा रहे हैं. So it is the body is trying to limit the perception of pain to some extent. So periaqueductal gray matter से जो descending inputs are, descending fibers from above, which are coming down, they come to two aspects of the spinal cord. They come to nucleus raffimagnus. This is also one nucleus in the brainstem which secretes serotonin, and the descending pathways also project into RVLM. So you see this nucleus has again come. So nucleus we talked about number of times in baroreceptors. So periaqueductal gray matter say neuronal projections, descending projections also come to RVLM, which secretes norepinephrine. Now this set of neurons, that is serotonin secreting neurons from raffimagnus and norepinephrine secreting neurons from RVLM. So they end on the spinal cord on some interneurons. Which interneurons? This interneurons which secrete enkephalin. The spinal cord mein there are some interneurons which secrete enkephalin, and this is a inhibitory neuron. So enkephalin causes both presynaptic and postsynaptic inhibition of the pain pathways. So this is, you will see these are the descending projections. So upar se this is all coming, right? Finally all of this is, it is doing what? It is encouraging or activating the function of enkephalin secreting neurons in the spinal cord. So this is enkephalin secreting interneuron. As I said, this can cause presynaptic inhibition. कि जो फर्स्ट ऑर्डर न्यूरॉन सेकेंड ऑर्डर तक जा रहा है जो साइनेप्स है, सो इट कैन इनहिबिट दिस विल कॉज प्री साइनेप्टिक इनहिबिशन. दिस कैन ऑल्सो इनहिबिट द सेकेंड ऑर्डर न्यूरॉन इटसेल्फ. दिस विल बी ए पोस्ट साइनेप्टिक इनहिबिशन. सो बोथ द वेज इट इज एम्प्लॉयड. So this is what happens is the effect of enkephalin, right? Apart from this, right, you also have to understand कि periaqueductal gray matter हमने वहाँ से शुरू किया था, but वो कहाँ से एक्टिव हो रहा है? So that is coming from higher areas like hypothalamus, right? Like amygdala. Amygdala is a circuit in the limbic structure of the limbic circuit dealing with emotions. So this explains why when we are under stress, our pain threshold rises. We do not seem to feel pain the same way because stress is perceived by the amygdala as an emotion and it activates locus coeruleus and RVLM. So these are all higher centers, amygdala और ऊपर है, and this is then activating this particular axis. तो starting कहाँ से हुआ? Starting from higher brain areas like amygdala, like hypothalamus, like the cortex, right? This is activating the periaqueductal gray matter, which in turn is activating nucleus raffimagnus, RVLM and locus coeruleus, LC. Locus coeruleus secretes norepinephrine. These neurons in turn go further down to the spinal cord. Spinal cord may all of them activate enkephalin secreting interneurons. And enkephalin causes both presynaptic as well as postsynaptic inhibition in the spinal cord, जहाँ पे first order neuron is ending and second order neuron is starting, right? So this is one very important pain suppressing pathway. So this is a supraspinal system. pathway. Now what happens when you accidentally, common experience here you answer. So when accidentally you hit your hand somewhere, right? What do? You hold it, right? कुछ देर आप उसको दबा के रखते हो, press it for some time. Alternately, you also tend to rub the area, right? तो ये जो एक instinct है, and most of the time it works, right? If you hold the area tightly, if you press the area or if you rub the area, the pain intensity reduces, right? This is something we have all experienced, right? Now, how does this happen? So, this particular effect happens at the level of spinal cord, right? This is the spinal pain suppressing system, which is also called as gait control theory. So, try to understand this first. Let's say I'm talking about this area, the dorsum of the hand. So, I've got a painful stimulus here. So, this painful stimulus is taken on it is received by the receptors and it is conveyed by the A delta fibers and C fibers, right? And this is then going, it is entering the dorsal horn of the spinal cord, it is entering here. Lamina, right? But if you press it like this, same area पे जब आप उसको एक mechanical stimulus दे रहे हो, like pressing or rubbing. Now this time I am stimulating mechanoreceptors in the same area. Mechanoreceptors are carried by A beta fibers. Touch, crude touch, pressure, A beta fine touch also. A beta fibers. A beta fibers are carried by are faster. Why? Because they are thicker, they are myelinated, they are faster than the pain conveying fibers. So they will reach the lamina faster because of their conduction velocity, faster velocity. And here what do? So they activate one more inhibitory interneuron, the same one. So encaphallergic inhibitory interneuron. So this one, right? This is the one you see in blue. This is the inhibitory interneuron. Once this is activated, so this will again cause what? Both presynaptic and postsynaptic inhibition of the lateral spinothalamic tract. So this is what happens in, this is the explanation of this daily experience that we have, right? Gait control theory. So this behaves like a gate. So inhibitory interneuron, it behaves like a gate, right? So if you stimulate touch, somehow if you give a mechanical stimulus, this will go faster because it is going by A beta fiber, and then it will inhibit that further transmission of pain. So pain modification, suppression, or if you're in exam, if you're asked about endogenous analgesia system, which is a very common question I'm telling you. So you have to touch on both the aspects. एक aspect होगा supraspinal, the mechanisms above the level of spinal cord, and this one, the gating or gate control theory, which is at the level of the spinal cord, right? So we'll stop here today.